What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of FTB Inventions. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode, we got some good stuff done. We finally made our industrial blast furnace down there. Yep. That little guy right here is pretty expensive, but it allowed us to get the titanium dust smelted that we got from our industrial grinder. Yeah, we got the titanium dust smelted, and that allowed us to make our quarry. So we still have this in our inventory. We're going to try and get this thing set up today. But even though we have the quarry made, which is really expensive in this mod pack, it's still going to be a minute before we can get this thing hooked up. Yes, we have to get a way that we're going to be able to store the items that's going to collect. We have to have a way to power it. I was looking in our mod list here, and we do have the aroma mod. Yeah, so we've done this before in the last few mod packs. But this is good. This is just a separate mining world. It's similar to the overworld, I think. Or maybe it's just a flat land. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, I think it actually is just flat land. But yeah, we can make this thing a portal frame, which will go to another dimension. So we can stick the quarry there. Not worry about messing up the terrain anywhere around here. Just dig a whole bunch of holes there. Yeah, I think it'll be much better that way. So we'll hopefully look at doing this a little bit later today. So I kind of want to get Applied Energistics hooked up. Kind of what I want to do is have Applied Energistics going. That way we have storage for all of our other stuff. And then we can set up some mass storage from stuff and hopefully use tesseracts. This might be a little ambitious. Eventually we'll use tesseracts to get stuff from the quarry world here. But I would like to have that set up anyway. If nothing else, we might be able to set up a temporary Applied Energistics system in the mining world next to the quarry. Either way, I want to have digital storage set up. So that's something we're going to be looking at doing. Cool. So we have a mining world. We have our quarry. We have the Applied Energistics going. As far as powering the quarry, we might look at big reactors, just setting up a small one temporarily until we have a proper large-scale power supply online. Another thing you guys have told me in the comments, though, there is an RF to EU converter. I had no idea this was a thing. This is from the Router Reborn mod, and apparently this is one single block. You pipe in RF and you get out a bunch of EU. That sounds pretty awesome. This thing is stupid inexpensive, too. 2 pieces of redstone and an oak plank. What? That's all you need for that. Yeah. So that's pretty much doing exactly what we're doing down here with all of this power converter stuff, which is too bad. But I suppose a little bit later on, say we get like the crazy solar panels hooked up from IC2 or the gravitation suite mod or whatever. Yeah, we can convert some of the EU back into RF, and that could be our main power supply. I don't know. But I wanted to make one of these things and just check it out. If it's that simple, that is really, really silly. But let's figure it out. Let's do it. Well, it's not really silly, but it's silly that we did all the power converter stuff we have this block in its place. All right, so let's go down here. Let's see if this thing can work. I don't know if I have enough power cables to actually get this thing hooked up properly. We don't. But I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all this stuff. Let's see. Can I unhook? Is that sending power? No, that's not sending power. So that means this thing's turned off. Let's see, how can I guess I just need another cable here. So we can just do this. Yeah, that is gaining RF to EU converter. We need one more copper cable. Dang it, I was thinking we might have enough cables, but we don't. Let's get one more copper cable over there. We'll see if that thing actually is working. There we go, that's all we need. Yeah, so our industrial blast furnace should be getting power here. If this does in fact work, let's place this one cable. Like so. Looks like it connects. Oh yeah, that just drained all the RF. I guess this thing can accept a lot of power at once. Yeah, this thing is definitely powering up. Well, it got a lot of power and now it's slowly sucking it down. Okay, well that's cool. That is a lot simpler than we were doing before. I like it. I wish I would known about it before, but whatever. Cool. All right, so we can use these power converters, like I said, for something else a little bit later. We might be able to take RF and make steam out of it, or steam into RF, or, you know, whatever. So we'll hold on to these for a little bit. We're not going to throw them away or anything. Awesome. All right, so let's start looking at Applied Energistics. Okay, guys, so one of the things that we need to do for Applied Energistics is we need to make ourselves the ME controller. We could make the power acceptor wherever that thing is, somewhere around here. That's another way to power an ME system, but we're just going to do the controller. So in order to do the controller, we need Skystone block, we need pure Fluix crystal, and we need engineering processors. So we started along this path before. We made ourselves the inscriber, and we saw that we can make ourselves the inscriber engineering press. Meteors are disabled, so you don't have to go around the world and find it. So yeah, we need a rolling machine, and I haven't tried it yet, but I don't think this is going to work in the other rolling machine that we have. We could try it. It might work. Let's grab ourselves a block of iron. Block of iron, and I think it was a diamond, right? Let's try this real quick. Since we already have that machine set up, I'm pretty sure it's going to need the Railcraft one, but there might be some crossover with the mods. I don't know. I think this was our rolling machine that we have. So we do that plus this. Does that do anything? It does not appear to be doing anything. No, I think this only does this one recipe. What a worthless machine. It only does the one recipe, but I guess it's just, you know, Greg Tech style stuff. Anyway, so let's get ourselves a rolling machine. This is the Railcraft version this time. So we need 4 pistons, 4 iron, and a crafting table. That sounds like something that's pretty easy to do. I think we had pistons already made. No, we don't. Okay, that's fine. We can make those here in a second. So there's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 more. We need 4 of this. We're going to need some cobblestone. We're going to need some wood planks. Do that. Let's make ourselves that crafting table real quick. Okay, and then we need to make ourselves those 4 pistons. We can do that pretty easily. There we go. Awesome. All right, so we got everything made. We should be able to do the rolling machine. There it is. Beautiful. Cool. Oh, it's already nighttime. Let's go ahead and sleep real quick before the creepers get us. It seems like every time it turns nighttime and I didn't realize it, there's always a creeper that has spawned like right over there by all of our expensive machinery. Like, I've seen a creeper in this area like probably 3 or 4 times now. It's so scary when I see that. Again, we don't really have this place set up, and this is kind of like a temporary one-time use kind of a thing. So let's just go ahead and stick these items in here, rolling in the rolling machine. Oh yeah. So the rolling machine works. You can put in items and it'll show you this thing. If you put in more than one item into like this storage area, crafting area, it'll craft all but the last one. You have to click it for it to craft the very last one. Anyway, so that's how we do the engineering press. So that is the diamond processor. I haven't looked at all the rest of them. We should probably look at and see how these other ones are made. So the calculation press is another one we're going to need. So that's like the same thing. Block of iron plus nether quartz. Okay, so the engineering press, that's the gold processor one, isn't it? Or is that the one we just made? No, that's the one we just made. The logic is the gold. Yeah, gold plus block of iron. And then finally, the silicon one. Okay, so we need 3 more blocks of iron. We need gold, silicon, and I can't remember what the last one was. Oh, well, we'll get this thing all sorted out here. Okay, so I'm going to need a bit more iron than what I have. So we can probably take some of our other stuff. Silver will work. We'll just go over to our exchange table and convert it. So what I've been doing here... Oh, we got more iron right here. What I've been doing, since we have limited space right now, I've been going and taking all of our resources. I've been smelting them down, doubling them, right? So we had a bunch of different raw ores. So like we had a stack and a half, 2 stacks of silver. I take them over to the table and I convert them down to diamonds. So we have more diamonds than we did last time, but like all of our ores are gone. These hold like 8,000 per item, whereas this is like 1,000. Iron, I think, was 128 or something. Anyway, you can convert a lot of items into diamonds, and then that way you have more compact storage. So that's what I've been doing. So we can go ahead and convert that into iron. All right, so we got that done. So we need to make 3 more iron blocks. 1, 2, 3. Cool. And then we needed gold. We needed silicon, which I don't think we had in here. And I can't remember what the last one was. I don't even know if we saw the last one. The other one is like pure Certus quartz, isn't it? Let's take a look real quick. So we needed calculation. That was the other one. It's just nether quartz, right? Okay, so we should be able to do all three of those real quick. Boop. All right, so we got those going. Awesome. So let me go ahead and cook these up real quick. We've seen how the rolling machine works, and we'll be right back to continue on. All right, guys, so I've taken some time here, and I kind of rearranged what we had going on underneath. I didn't like how we had all those machines laid out in that certain way. Yeah, that was kind of temporary, and then I left it, and I was just adding more machines. It's like, okay, hold on. We got to stop this before it gets out of control. So I took the time. I opened up underneath here. I started running the power wires, our leadstone flux ducts, underneath the walkway here. Yeah, so the flux ducts go like under here to the center point, and then from the center point they go over to here, and then like almost about probably directly underneath me they go over to the water wheels. Then the power wire also goes underneath here, underneath this rolling machine, and then into the bottom of this RF to EU converter. Right. So anyway, we have like the power ran. We're not running our heads into the cables. It just makes things a little bit more clean. All of our RF machines are up here, and they're getting powered from the bottom side. So that's how this thing is all working for now. Eventually, I think we will open this up, like make it deeper, maybe put in floors, depending on what we need. I want to have Applied Energistics hooked up. I think it might go here. I don't know yet. We will figure this out as we go. Like I said, this whole thing is going to be kind of like we'll expand as we need it kind of a thing. We can also eventually add a second building. It doesn't have to be one specific building that goes all the way down to bedrock or all the way up to skyblock. We can, have a building here. If we run out of space, just build another one and have paths leading over there. I don't know. We'll figure it all out. But yeah, these are our RF machines that we had downstairs. Below we have our alloy smelter and our sag mill, our rolling machine that we made earlier, and our induction smelter, just the basic version. Cool. So we have another spot right here, so we can put down our inscriber. Yep. So we're going to start working on a little bit of Applied Energistics stuff. So you can smack that with a wrench, and we can turn this sideways, which is pretty cool. Sideways allows us to put items in from the top, bottom, and side, so we can do some basic automation with the inscriber. Yeah, we don't want to go too crazy, but we want to have something happening here. So we can do that. That's going to place the diamond right in the center spot. So we can do I think it's the engineering press with the diamond. Yeah, and we're getting power. We don't have any upgrades, so it's going to take a minute. We have power here, and then the next diamond goes in, and it should just go ahead and do this. Normally, you can only put in one at a time. But yeah, when you turn it on the side like that, you can just use a vanilla hopper and have items go in. So that's pretty awesome. Cool. So we're wasting a lot of exchange energy doing this, which makes me a little sad, but this is going to get us going. We'll have Applied Energistics hooked up, and eventually we'll have a lot of exchange energy coming in from our quarry. So I think it's going to be all good. So yeah, we needed this to make ourselves the ME controller. We needed to make the we're going to have to make the pure Fluix. So that's something else we're going to have to work on, but we needed that to make ourselves these engineering processors. Cool. So we're also going to have to do the same thing with printed silicon. So we do have a silicon press in here. Let's go ahead and remove this. We'll put the silicon one here. Yeah, and I need to go get myself some silicon. Unfortunately, I forgot about that. Yeah, we just need to go get like 8 more pieces of silicon. We should be all good to go here. That silicon is so silly. How much is it? It's 2 per? All right, well, there's 16. I guess we only needed 8. We'll go and put the rest of them back. Cool. So we'll just do the same thing, same process. And then once we get those pieces together like we do, we should be able to put the engineering circuit, the printed silicon, and some redstone back in the inscriber without any of the presses, and we should make the full circuits. So let me do a little bit more work here. I'm going to continue on with our Applied Energistics endeavor. Hopefully we'll get our ME controller going. I'll try and get some of the Fluix stuff going. Well, you know what? To make this stuff, we need sand, drop Fluix seed made from Fluix dust and sand in the puddle of water. You know what I was just remembering? We don't have any charge. There's a charger that we can make. What does it cost for this? So we just need regular Fluix, some iron to make the charger. The charger we can put in the regular Certus quartz crystals, and it charges them and turns them into the charged version. Yeah, this is actually something we should probably work on so we can get some more of those. We need the charged ones to make the Fluix, I do believe. let's just take a look at the recipe for the Fluix crystal. So that's 1 charged Certus quartz, 1 nether quartz, and redstone dust. Right, so we're going to make that charger. Once again, let's look at the recipe for this, just so I know what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to need some charged Certus quartz crystal. We have 1. That's not enough. Well, actually, that will be enough, right? Because I think 1 charge plus 1 nether quartz plus a redstone will make 2 Fluix, and we should be able to make the charger from that. I'm pretty sure. Let's just double check and make sure I got my stuff correct here. So Q. That should do a thing. It should make everybody happy. And there's 2 Fluix crystals. Nice. All right, so we should be able to make that charger. No problem. I was getting a little worried. There's like, uh-oh, we only have 1. I thought we needed 2. Thankfully, we didn't. All right, so we can do that. Make a charger like so. And then we can grab some of our Certus quartz crystals. I don't know. Let's do a quarter of a stack. Should be fine. And we'll do the same kind of a thing where we can just drop them in. But we're probably going to want to drop them out. Yeah, it's... automating this one is going to be a little bit more tricky. We'll need pipes with a filter, so we're not pulling out the Certus quartz. We'd only be pulling out the other ones. Well, I guess we can kind of make this work. We don't have any power cables either. Dang it. I can't wait until we get Applied Energistics hooked up with the wireless stuff so we don't have to keep running back and forth for everything. Do we have enough power wires over here? We have 1. That's not enough. All right, so we're going to need a little bit of glass. We're going to need some lead. I don't know if we have lead. We probably don't. Let's go and do this. And then we're going to need some redstone. We'll convert that silver into lead. I guess the thermal expansion version of the lead should be just fine. We'll do that. We need the leadstone, these things, like so. We'll make 2 more recipes just so we have the extra. All right, guys. Well, I got this thing hooked up. There is a way you can do this automatically, and I wasn't sure at first if you can do it automatically, but it does look like it. So if you turn the charger on its side, just like we did with the inscriber, it has to be powered from, the flat sides. It can't be powered from the back or the top or the bottom or the sides or whatever. So we can put items in from the side, though. So our Certus quartz crystal is being dropped directly into the charger, and we have a hopper underneath that's pulling out. And apparently the hopper underneath that's pulling the charged Certus quartz crystal out will only pull out the charged Certus quartz crystal. I was afraid when I first hooked this up that it would, in fact, just pull out the regular Certus, but no, that's fine. It just works this way, so hopper above, hopper below, and there you go. Yep, no fancy filtering, no any of that stuff. It doesn't look that pretty since it has to be charged or given power from the side, but whatever. This seems to work pretty good. So now we have the charge. I'm going to go ahead and make some Fluix. We will make some Fluix seeds out of that. We should probably look at, oh man, I was going to say we should probably look at making some of the, what are those things called? I can't think of them. The growth accelerator things from Applied Energistics that makes the seeds grow faster. But I think that needs actual power from Applied Energistics, which we don't have right now. So I don't think that's going to be a good idea. So anyway, we'll go ahead and do 16 of those. We're going to need some more redstone here in a little bit. But that should be fine. We'll go ahead and make a bit more Fluix. That'll be great. Unfortunately, that stuff does not have exchange value. So yeah, the charged quartz doesn't. Yeah, and then the Fluix doesn't either. So you have to make those all by hand, which is fine. Just so you're aware, you have to make those by hand every single time you want to make it. So that's cool. I mean, that'll give us another machine eventually, or another process that we will be able to automate. So, nothing wrong with that. All right, so sag mill. I think we just put those in there. Yeah, we get the Fluix dust. Then we mix this dust with sand. We'll just take 8 of those. I guess we'll take 9. We mix that dust with sand, and then we get Fluix seeds. I think it doubles. I think we're going to need to just pull some sand out of here. There we go. That should be fine. Let's take 18 of those. That'll also be just fine as well. Okay, so we got 18 of the seeds. Now we just have to drop the seeds in the water and wait. So this is going to be a little bit of a hurry up and wait. process here, but these things don't despawn. And even if they get fully matured, like they grow all the way up until the pure fluix, they will not despawn unless you pick them up and send them back down again. So as long as you just don't touch them, they'll always be there for you to come back and pick them up. So now we just got to wait around for a little while. I bet it might be 1% complete if we look at it. It's 0%. Okay, well, it's going to take a minute for those things to grow up, unfortunately. So let's wait for that to happen. If it takes too long, I might look at making some of those things, the crystal growth. Crystal growth accelerator. Unless there is wireless charger, laser drill. Yeah, some of these mod packs I have played before, there's like AE2 stuff. And I don't think that is in this particular mod pack. No, it's not. That allows you to grow these crystals in like a machine, and it goes like really fast. But no, we're just going to have to wait, which is fine. So let me go ahead and make a cut. I'll get some more stuff done around here. We'll BRB. All right, guys. Well, I thought we were going to be able to wait for the fluix crystals to grow up, and it is taking a very, very long time. I would say it's probably been 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes since the last clip. Let's take a look at the progress on this thing. It's at 4%. Yeah, that is not any reasonable amount of time. It can work and you can do it, but no. So I ended up making some more fluix crystals, and I went ahead and I made the crystal growth accelerator. I made 4 of these actually. So we had to make some quartz glass, so I macerated up, or I guess use the Ender IO version, pulverizer, whatever, to make some nether quartz dust and some glass. Yep, and then we got some quartz glass going on. We had to make some of this, so I made some of the quartz fiber, added some more fluix crystals to that. Yeah, and then I made an energy acceptor. The thing that I said we weren't going to do, we did it anyway, because it is just so cheap compared to the ME controller. Not to say that the ME controller is expensive, but to get the pure stuff, it's just going to take forever. I was able to make the skystone block, though. This stuff you can craft since there are no meteors. You just need some coal dust and some regular stone. You get the skystone. This stuff you can exchange for, so I just made 1 recipe, and I exchanged for the rest of them, so that's fine. So we got our crystal growth accelerators over here. I just got done placing my bucket of water in there right before I started recording here. So yeah, we got 4 of these things. They are sideways. 2 of them are touching the energy acceptor right here, and then I just have a ME fluix cable on this side and 1 on this side over here to connect those 2. So yeah, these are now properly powered, so I should be able to stick those in there. And with 4 of these crystal growth accelerators, it should only take about 5 minutes tops for this thing to fully grow up, mature, whatever it takes, whatever it's called. Yeah, doing it over there without those, I don't know why they set the config so low. I think that's slower than the default Applied Energistics. I really feel it is. I'm not 100% sure on that though, but yeah, that's just going ridiculously slow, and I'm not happy about it, but that's just the way it is. Let's check a look at this now. 31%. Yeah, this is way faster. So anyway, let's go ahead and let those grow up. We'll make our ME controller. We'll do the things that we were going to do, and we'll be right back, guys. I have no idea what this creeper is doing right now. I saw there was one above me, up here. I saw it on the mini map, so I went outside. I looked up. There it is. It dropped down, and then it just started jumping. Did I get close to it? Whoa! It fixed itself. Oh my goodness! Get out of here. Where are you going? I didn't really mean get out of here. Where are you going? Yeah. Okay, we're good. Die. Crazy creeper. All right, guys. Well, I've been getting a little ambitious in this mod pack. It's like, oh, you know, we will just do Applied Energistics today. We will just go ahead and set up the quarry today. We'll go ahead and do big reactors today. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to do all that today, unfortunately, guys. So we spent a little bit of time getting a lot of this stuff done. We rearranged our machines. We dug out underneath here. We got the power wires going. We dived into Applied Energistics. We kind of got some stuff going on here. So we have an ME controller, which we don't technically need since we have this energy acceptor right now, but we're going to go ahead and hook this up anyway. yeah, we're going to go and get our Applied Energistics on is what we're going to do. But I don't think we're going to be able to do all the other things that I wanted to do today, but that's fine. That'll give me time to collect some resources and get some other things happening for the future. So we're going to put the ME controller there just because it's going to look kind of cool, I guess. We'll put this right there. Actually, is that what I want to do? That should be fine. And then I made myself 10 1K ME storage drives. We'll just go ahead and fill these all in like so. Okay, so we got the storage. We have the controller. We need to get ourselves some power ran. Oh, you know what? Yeah. We need to get ourselves some power ran to that controller, and then we'll be able to do some stuff. In fact, we're also going to need to get ourselves a crafting terminal so we have access to the Applied Energistics stuff. So we're going to need this thing, and oh, I thought that was a creeper sneaking up on me. Just a pig. Yeah, we still need a few more things together here. We'll get our Applied Energistics system hooked up here at the base. That's not its final location. That's just where we're putting it for right now. We will get all of the stuff taken out of these chests over here and stuck in there. And then a lot of things will go a little bit smoother going forward, I think. And then hopefully next episode, we'll have like a secondary ME system or Tesseracts or something like that, where we can take the items that our quarry is quarrying and store them digitally. I think that's probably going to be the way that we're going to go about this. So we're going to need some more quartz glass. We're going to need a little glowstone, redstone, iron to make these illuminated panels. That's not so bad. The formation core, just some Certus, some Fluix, and a logic processor. Not so bad. All right, well, oh, you know what? There's also like an annihilation core, which is practically the same thing. Practically the same thing. Logic processor, Fluix, nether quartz. It's not so bad. So yeah, I need to go ahead and make one of these. Do we have the power cables? We might not have enough power cable to get this thing hooked up. I'm gonna have to make a little bit more of the leadstone flux ducts, I do think. Let's see, how is that ran under here? The power wire comes up. Yeah, we're not gonna have enough power cables. So what we're gonna do is we'll just run this underneath like this. We'll dig down like I've done for the rest of these things, and it'll meet up over here somewhere, I think is what I want to do. Probably come over here to this one. We'll meet up right here. I'll bring the power wire over like so. We'll power this up. We will get the ME crafting terminal hooked up so we have access to our stuff, and we'll be right back, guys. Well, all right, guys, here we are. We have our controller, we have our ME drive, we have all the 1K storage disks, and I just got done making ourselves a crafting terminal. This is so good. Get in there. Nice. We finally put stuff into our Applied Energistics system. I am so happy for this thing. It's amazing. Best thing ever. Pretty much best thing ever. So we got a lot of stuff kind of thrown around, not in its permanent place, unfortunately. But that's kind of like how the way things go when you first start out. You just don't have a lot of stuff. Yep, you don't have a lot of stuff. You can't really put everything exactly where you want it because it costs more materials and all this stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of me running back and forth, putting all my stuff into one single location. Being able to craft directly from this terminal is going to be so good. Eventually, we will have, automation set up where we'll export ores directly into a pulverizer or whatever, the grinder, all these different things. Yeah, and we'll just have so many things happening that we won't have to really worry about it anymore. And that's going to be totally amazing. I'm super excited for that. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. We still got to get this building fixed, though. Like, well, I call it a building. It's not even a building. It's just kind of like an area. We need to get walls around this thing, especially now all of our stuff here, our Applied Energistics is here. Yeah, it's going to be an expensive area. If we do get creepered over here, it's going to be bad news. We definitely don't want our stuff ruined to a creeper. That's for sure. But yeah, guys, anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of FTB Inventions. Unfortunately, we didn't get to everything that I wanted to do today. That's just the way things work. You think you're going to be able to do things take time, you don't realize it, and you just don't get to it. But yeah, next episode, we should be able to get to that quarry. Finally, we'll look at getting the mining dimension hooked up. We'll get the quarry going. We're going to have to figure out a way to get power for the quarry, and we're going to have to figure out what to do with those items. Like I said before, ideally, we want the items sent back here to the overworld, to our main ME system, but we might not be able to do that if we can't afford Tesseracts just yet. So we might end up having to set up its own Applied Energistics system specifically for the quarry. I don't know. We could do that, or we could just make a whole bunch of diamond chests or something along those lines. We'll figure it all out. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you did like it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.